Hello everybody, it's Aaron back from Screen Stars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom. Today I'm here to review the 2021 comedy horror Witness Infection, a film that is directed by Andy Palmer and it stars Robert Belushi, who is the son of Jim Belushi. It also stars Tara Strong, Erinn Hayes, Joseph D. Reitman, Carlos Alazraqui, Monique Coleman, Bret, Ernst and Jill-Michele Melean. Now, this film focuses on two former mob families who have been placed in the same small American town by the Witness Protection Program, inexplicably. So they have, if you like, continued their war while they are, in witness protection. One of the families is stronger than the other, and they are insisting that this other family marries into this family in order to prevent a war. So you've got all this like usual mob type stuff going on in the background, the kind of stuff you'd expect with a kind of a mob film. So Robert Belushi's character Carlo is the unfortunate one in the family who's been told he's got to marry, the daughter of the rival crime boss. He doesn't want to do that. He's not in love with her and all this kind of stuff. While all this is going on, there is like this snack van, food van, that sells the most popular food in town, like this Italian sausage that everybody eats and enjoys. But it seems to be contaminated, this newest batch of sausages that everybody's enjoying, and turning people into flesh-eating zombies. So the film then develops into a fight for survival for all the characters to try and stay alive in the midst of not only this mob war, but also hordes of ravenous zombies charging about as well. Right, so that's the premise of the film. Makes sense with the title, Witness Infection. What are my thoughts on this film? Well, I have to be honest, I thought this actually was quite a cleverly put together film. It was quite fun. I liked the comedy in this. It did work for the most part. It's it's like mob type comedy. You got that Italian humour. That trashy like New York Italian type accent going on here. You've got a couple of faces you'll recognise in the film. There's the guy from Cobra in there. There's a couple of other faces that you'll recognise from other stuff. Tara Strong, who does the voice for like the Batman animated films and things like that. So there's a lot of voices and struck faces you might recognise here as well. And so essentially what we've got here is everybody putting in their shift here. So we've got everybody putting in decent performances as well. The comedy kind of works. Yeah, it's a little bit silly, it's a little bit over the top, but it does kind of work. You've got this mob drama going on that's quite funny as well, and then you've got this zombie stuff going on as well. Now I think what makes this film work is the fact that the zombie stuff doesn't overtake the film. It's almost like a side story, the zombie stuff, which is good. I mean, there's so many zombie films in the market these days. You've got to do something to make yourself stand out and do something a little bit different. Now I'm not saying this film is radically different from any other zombie film you've ever seen, because it really isn't, but the effort they put into it makes it certainly watchable and enjoyable for the most part, this one. The characters were fun and interesting, and I liked them. A lot of films you watch and you don't like the characters, so therefore you don't root for them. I liked Carlo, who was played by Robert Belushi. He's got this charming vulnerability about him, and you want him to succeed in the film. The other character who he's clearly in love with, and she's in love with him, Gina. They work together at the local dog grooming place. You're kind of pulling for them to get through all this. The horror and the effects are what you would expect for a comedy horror like this. You get people biting into flesh. You get a bit of blood here and there. You get heads ripped off here and there. So it doesn't even hold back when it comes to the violence, but it's not gratuitous type violence. It's more, you know, the violence you'd expect in a comedy horror. It's like ridiculous type violence. So I mean, really, it all determines really what kind of, you know, comedy horror you're into. Really, I think this one is quite smartly written. I liked the dialogue, I liked the script here. It moves at a pretty nice pace here. It doesn't dwell too much on the romance side of it. It doesn't dwell too much on the mob drama, and it doesn't overly dwell on the zombie stuff. They all just all kind of blend in at the same time, and it all just kind of works a little bit. Don't get me wrong, this film is not going to win any awards for like zombie film of the year or horror film of the year or even comedy horror film of the year. There are better ones out there on the market, but I think this is actually one that I think you'll probably enjoy a little bit more than you expect to enjoy, because of the clever script really that's going on with it and the witty dialogue that's injected into this film. But yes, it's silly. There are moments in the film where it's silly. There are moments where you'll roll your eyes. There'll be moments where the gags don't hit. But I'd say I laughed in this, or certainly giggled more than I didn't. And I thought it was a pretty slick, fast-paced movie. So I'm going to be quite generous with this. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's slightly above average for what it is trying to be, certainly. And I have to be honest, I enjoyed it far more than I expected to. So that is my review for Witness Infection. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to call back at Geek Leisure Doom for more reviews very, very soon.